शुरू। Hello learners, Namaskar. I welcome you in this live program of NIS for the senior secondary learners library science course. Today what we are going to talk about is library users. In our last lesson, what we have already understood was about the library staff. How many how many types of levels are there in the library staff? You have a top level, you have a middle level, you have a lower level. Then how many types of steps you are supposed to are involved in planning, recruiting, selection, employment. ये सब बात हमने पिछले लेसन में की कि किस तरह से हम लोग रिक्रूट करते हैं लाइब्रेरी में लोगों को, किस तरह से हम लोग सिलेक्शन करते हैं और फिर उनकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, रोल्स उन्हें समझाते हैं, हम उनकी परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल्स कैसे करते हैं. ये सब हमारा पिछले लेसन का. अब आज जो डिस्कस करने वाले हैं हम वो है लाइब्रेरी यूजर्स के बारे में. लाइब्रेरी यूजर्स भी इक्वली बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है हमारे लिए, जैसे कि हमारे लिए लाइब्रेरी स्टाफ है उसी तरह यूजर्स, क्योंकि लाइब्रेरी का एक ट्रायंगल होता है जहां पर बुक्स, यूजर्स और हमारे स्टाफ तीनों मिला के लाइब्रेरी बनाते हैं. लाइक दैट ओनली नाउ वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट द library users, why they are so important for us and how we are supposed to manage our library users who are important part of the libraries. We all know that primary objective of any library, irrespective of its size, which I always keep on telling you that there are different types of libraries. Size depends on different requirements of the libraries and the users also depend on that. What we do that from all the activities from the library, selection from selecting a resource or organizing them, storing them, disseminating them and carrying out all these kind of activities, we have to keep in view what users requirements, user satisfaction, which is the most important thing for the library. If your users are satisfied, means your library is running very well. Like that only we will be talking about the users today, how we will be managing our users, what all kind of facilities we are providing to our users so that they are able to maximize the use. Maximum library का aim क्या है? Aim ये है कि users जो भी हैं, जो भी library में आए, उनकी information retrieve हो जाए आराम से, उनका time waste ना हो, इसलिए हम लोग ये सब चीज करते हैं. तो लाइब्रेरी यूजर्स को हम लोग कैसे इवैल्यूएट करते हैं, कैसे कैसे उनकी हेल्प करते हैं ट्रेनिंग से, या किस तरह के स्टेप्स लाइब्रेरीज लेती हैं सब बाय गिविंग प्रोवाइडिंग देम द डिफरेंट सर्विसेज, ये सब आज हम इस लेसन में जानेंगे. So libraries therefore need services जो भी provide हो जाती, whatever services libraries are given, but what we need to do them, we need to assess those services, whether these services whatever we are providing to our users, are they okay, are they useful for our users, are they able to make the best resources available to our users. We need to find out the services provided are appropriate and the need is also being viewed that whether the whatever we are providing to our users, is this the right kind of choice we are providing to our users. That's why we all are working on the users' opinions. That is very important for the library. For writing this lesson and talking about this lesson, that is library users, we have brought out certain objectives which you will see in this lesson. On this we have written the chapter and then these will be the outcomes you will see after reading this lesson. You will be able to know what you will be able to see different types of users, कितनी तरह के यूजर्स होते हैं, कितनी तरह के अलग अलग इंफॉर्मेशन नीड्स होती हैं लोगों की. यू विल बी एबल टू फाइंड आउट द मेथड्स एंड टेक्निक्स फॉर असेसिंग यूजर्स. किस तरह से हम रिक्वायरमेंट्स जो है यूजर्स की उन्हें असेस कर ले, उसे देखे. डिफरेंट मेथड्स जो है इलस्ट्रेटिंग डिफरेंट मेथड्स ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन गैदरिंग हैबिट्स. हर किसी को एक तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं चाहिए होती है. then we will design questionnaires or whatever methods we will be working on them, how we will be gathering the information. That's what we are going to talk in this lesson. What is the purpose of gathering this information, what is the motive behind that, is how we should be able to give proper information to our users. That's what is the base for this lesson. After studying this lesson, you will learn a lot of things. I mean, those learners who are going to study further in the library science, they will know what is questionnaires and how do we make the questionnaire and what are the important things to keep in mind while making that. These small things are written in this lesson. It is going to help you all. So first of all, what we will talk about user groups and information needs. There are many types of libraries, but there are many types of users also, which are grouped into. Why they are grouped into? According to the needs of the information. Like we are in a family, we all don't have the same needs. सभी की ज़रूरतें अलग अलग होती. इसी तरह से इंफॉर्मेशन को यूज़ करने के लिए भी अलग अलग लोगों की ज़रूरतें अलग अलग होती हैं. तो इस ग्रुप्स में हम लोग क्या बोलेंगे, एकेडमिक लाइब्रेरीज में जो ज़्यादातर है, हम लोग क्या करते हैं, स्टूडेंट्स को सर्व करते हैं, टीचर्स को सर्व करते हैं. और academic library mein what all we have usually the schools, colleges and universities, and special libraries are usually attached to R&Ds, organizations. They serve people who are working for the development, research and other things, even for the local residents also. आप देखेंगे public libraries में who all are going to study there, who all are going to work there, that is the normal public. All those who don't get time in the daytime, they will go in the evening, they will go and study there, read there. That's all about the public libraries. So we have different types of users and the information needs. This is all we have to understand, that what kind of specific user groups we have and what kind of information needs they all have. We have divided it into different groups, like we have students, we have teachers, we have researchers, we have professionals, we have policy makers, we have managers. There are many people. Communication intermediaries are also there, technicians are there, जनरल पब्लिक इज देयर. व्हाट एवर सेइंग, लाइक हमारे पास बहुत तरह के यूजर्स हैं, अलग अलग तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन नीड्स को लेकर के हम इन ग्रुप्स को बनाते हैं. और इन सभी यूजर्स की जो ज़रूरतें हैं वो भी अलग अलग है. जैसे कि स्टूडेंट की क्या ज़रूरत है, उसको पढ़ने के लिए चाहिए, एक तो उसे टेक्स्ट बुक चाहिए, उसके अलावा एक रेफरेंस बुक चाहिए होती है, रेफरेंस मटेरियल चाहिए स्टूडेंट्स को. टीचर्स को क्या चाहिए, व्हाट ऑल दे आर गोइंग टू टीच टू देयर, उनको अहेड ऑफ द स्टडी मटेरियल रहना है, सो दैट दे आर एबल टू डिलीवर मोर टू द स्टूडेंट्स, टू देयर learners. Then researchers definitely have to work more, they have to think ahead of the time. Then policy makers, they have to work for the whole, they have to see किस तरह के लोगों के लिए हम पॉलिसी बना रहे हैं, किस टाइम पीरियड के लिए बना रहे हैं और कब तक ये impactful रहेगी. These all are the groups where we all need to work and see what kind of users we have and what kind of information these all users need. तो जनरल पब्लिक जो है, हमारी जनरल पब्लिक को न्यूज़पेपर से रिलेटेड ज़्यादा रोज़मर्रा की ज़िंदगी में क्या हो रहा है, कैसे चल रहा है, कल क्या होने वाला, आज क्या होने वाला है, करंट इन्फॉर्मेशन जो भी होती है वो जनरल पब्लिक को बहुत ज़रूरी चाहिए होती है, जो कि हमें हर दिन न्यूज़पेपर में जैसे मिलती है. तो इस तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन को हमने डिवाइड किया है अलग अलग. सो वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट देम in further slides. Of all these user groups, you know what, most एक्सटेंसिव यूजर्स जो हैं लाइब्रेरी के, ज़्यादातर जो देखा जाए हैं लाइब्रेरी रिसोर्सेज और सर्विसेज को जो यूज़ करते हैं, हु आर दे आर रिसर्चर्स. बेसिकली दे नीड इंफॉर्मेशन टू कीप देमसेल्फ अपडेट, टू फाइंड द न्यू एरियाज ऑफ रिसर्च, टू अवॉइड डुप्लीकेशन ऑल्सो. लाइक किस किस का रिसर्च टॉपिक पे काम हुआ है उन्हें ये भी पता होना चाहिए. अगर हमें वो सब चीज़ें अवॉइड करनी है तो हमें कोई नया टॉपिक कैसे काम करना है, या इस टॉपिक पे कितना रिसर्च हुआ है, कितना काम हुआ है, उसके बारे में उन्हें जानने के लिए दे ऑल्सो नीड लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन. So large number of user surveys are conducted to ascertain the information needs of the categories. What kind of categories? ये अचानक से ऐसे ही नहीं पता चलता है हमें कि किसकी क्या information needs है, इस पर रिसर्च होती है, तभी हमें इतनी वैरायटी के, इतनी कैटेगरी के यूजर्स के बारे में पता चल जाता है और उनकी क्या इन्फॉर्मेशन नीड्स है उसके बारे में पता चल जाता है. तो बेसिकली हमने जो डिवाइड किया है इंफॉर्मेशन नीड्स को कैसे किया है, करंट इंफॉर्मेशन नीड है, कैचिंग अप इंफॉर्मेशन नीड है, एवरीडे इंफॉर्मेशन नीड एंड एग्जॉस्टिव इंफॉर्मेशन नीड. ये यूजुअली देखा गया है कि इतने 4 तरह की जो है इंफॉर्मेशन नीड्स को जिसमें डिवाइड किया गया है. हर इंसान को इस तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए, किसे कब चाहिए, दैट ऑल डिपेंड्स. तो what we will be talking about the current information needs, because different people are there are needs, अलग लोगों की अलग ज़रूरतें होती हैं और जो हर ज़रूरत है उसके हिसाब से आपको उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे जो इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए होती है, दैट इज़ करंट इन्फॉर्मेशन नीड्स. जब आपको लेटेस्ट डेवलपमेंट्स के बारे में आप जानना चाहते हैं, लेटेस्ट रेगुलर बेसिस पे आप क्या चल रहा है, लाइक आई वाज सेइंग कि न्यूज़पेपर जो आपको देता है, तो वो इसे हम करंट इन्फॉर्मेशन नीड्स कहते हैं. उस तरह के यूजर्स जो होते हैं जो डेली रूटीन में जानना चाहते हैं कहाँ क्या हो रहा है, कहाँ क्या डेवलपमेंट्स होती है, that is current information needs. तो अगर कभी कोई those users who want this kind of information मगर in exhaustive topic, like एक टॉपिक है इस पे एग्जॉस्टिव इंफॉर्मेशन उन्हें चाहिए, काफ़ी लंबी चाहिए इंफॉर्मेशन, इसको डीपर नॉलेज चाहिए उसकी, तो सो वी कॉल इट एग्जॉस्टिव इंफॉर्मेशन नीड ऑफ द सेम यूज़र. कभी आपको करंट भी चाहिए हो सकती है, कभी आपको एग्जॉस्टिव इंफॉर्मेशन नीड भी ज़रूरत भी हो सकती है. सो लाइक रिसर्चर्स व्हेन दे वर्क, जब हम आप लोग देखेंगे रिसर्च पे, जब हम रेगुलरली देखते हैं हाउ मच रिसर्च हैज़ बीन डन एंड हाउ मच वी कैन वर्क ऑन एंड व्हाट इज़ द करंट सिनेरियो ऑफ द थिंग्स, व्हाट इज़ हैपनिंग नाउअडेज, इज द एग्जॉस्टिव information need. Then we will come on the everyday information need. Everyday information need is for the specific information required by the users, that is for the day-to-day activities, like generally it is factual. For this we always need to refer the reference books, like we want to know who is the prime minister of this country, what is the area of this country and how many states do they have. These are our factual, for which we have the reference books. We do that we reply those queries from the reference point of view. Then coming to the catching up the information needs. Catching up information need is for those users already you have a subject, like you are a physics teacher, but sometimes you want to know more about the economics. So what you will do on that particular subject, you will like to catch up some new information, you will like to ask questions about the new things what you wanted to understand from the new scenario. So that is catching up of the information needs. That is where you move away from your subject and you are into some other subject, and you are not into the deep kind of an information, but superficially you want to know. आपको ऊपर से कुछ जानने की ज़रूरत होती है. जैसे कि बैंक में हमें काम नहीं करना आता, मगर बैंक के साथ जो हम काम करते हैं वो तो हमें ज़रूरत होती है कि क्या बैंक अकाउंट कैसे खुलेगा, क्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स है, वहाँ कैसे जाना है, कैसे करना है, या अब हमारे पास ऐप है इसे कैसे यूज़ कर सकते हैं. ये हम कैचिंग अप इंफॉर्मेशन हर चीज़ की रखते हैं, चाहे हमें स्कूल हो, कॉलेज हो, किसी तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन को हम गैदर करते हैं. ये जानने के लिए हम we get these kind of information from the libraries also. These also come into the services what libraries are providing you. Now we will talk about the user studies. How do we come to know about कि ये जो हमारी इंफॉर्मेशन नीड्स हैं, ये जो हमारे पास टाइप्स ऑफ यूजर्स हैं, ये सब हमें कैसे पता चल जाता है? ये हम यूजर स्टडी करते हैं. जो हमारे यूजर्स हैं दे आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द लाइब्रेरीज, बिकॉज द वॉट एवर सर्विसेज, जो भी सर्विसेज हमारी हैं, जो भी हम प्रोवाइड करते हैं, वो हम अपने यूजर्स के लिए करते हैं. तो हम यूजर्स की स्टडी करते हैं. ये ज़्यादातर तो यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में या स्पेशल लाइब्रेरीज में यूजर स्टडीज होती हैं, ताकि उन्हें ये पता चल जाए कि किस तरह की एक्टिविटी से कितना काम अच्छा हो पा रहा है, या किस सर्विस से ज़्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर हो पा रही है या फ़ायदा हो रहा है लोगों को, इसके लिए हम क्वेश्चनियर्स भी बनाते हैं, यूज़र स्टडीज़ करते हैं। फिर हम पढ़ेंगे, अब आपको बताएंगे यूज़र स्टडीज़ के बारे में। तो यूज़र स्टडीज़ जहाँ ज़्यादातर किस लिए होती हैं, एक्सेस द इंफॉर्मेशन नीड्स ऑफ द यूज़र्स। हमें ये जानना है कि इंफॉर्मेशन नीड्स किस तरह की हमें चाहिए, हमें जानना है आपको किस तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन की ज़रूरत है। वी वॉन्ट टू नो द अनफुलफिल्ड इंफॉर्मेशन नीड्स, जो आपके पास जो आप चाहते थे वो नहीं मिला आपको, अनफुलफिल्ड क्या है। फाइंड द यूज ऑफ द लाइब्रेरी, जो भी आपके लाइब्रेरी में रिसोर्सेज हैं उनका कितना यूज है, आप उनमें से कितना कुछ यूज करते हैं। आप ये भी कर सकते हैं, नो मोर ओपिनियन अबाउट द लाइब्रेरी कलेक्शन। आपकी जो कलेक्शन है वाकई बहुत अच्छी है क्या, वाकई इसको लोग पसंद करते हैं, पसंद करने से ज़्यादा क्या ये यूज़फुल है उनके लिए, नहीं। तो इस तरह से हम यूज़र स्टडीज़ जो करते हैं, ये सब चीज़ें हम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू जो है ये सब हम माइंड में रखते हैं। और जो न्यू सर्विसेज हैं, इसमें से हम क्या जो हमारी सर्विसेज हैं क्या वो काफ़ी हैं या नहीं है, या हम इसमें और सर्विसेज ऐड कर लें, इस तरह के लिए हम यूज़र स्टडीज़ करते हैं। This is how we do the user studies. We access, we know, we find out, we ascertain कि whatever services we are having, whether they are useful for you or not. That's how we do. Usually what user studies who are conducting the user studies, that is basically from the bigger libraries, you can say university libraries or research libraries, special libraries. They will assess the needs of the users, they will see how your information is getting fulfilled or not, they will see whether the services you are providing, whether the resources whatever you are having, are they okay for you or not. How do we do this user studies, how do we carry on these methods? We have two methods in this. One is direct method and one is indirect method. Like in direct method, who is involved? Direct method, your students are involved, one to one, you are talking to people one to one. And indirect method, you are dependent on the statistics. जैसे कि हम सुबह से एक कंप्यूटर पे बैठ के हमारे दो लोग काम कर रहे हैं, या सर्कुलेशन में काम कर रहे हैं, या वो कैटलॉगिंग में काम कर रहे हैं, तो वहाँ से हम ये देख लेते हैं कि स्टैटिस्टिकली उन्होंने कितना काम किया, या कितना इशू हुआ, कितना रिटर्न हुआ। वो हमारी स्टैट्स जो है उससे भी हमारी जो है बहुत सारी यूज़र स्टडीज़ हो जाती हैं, पर वो एक इनडायरेक्ट मेथड है। आगे जा करके व्हाट वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट, वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट द direct and indirect methods, how they are different than each other, and how we are assessing the information through these methods. So first of all, what we will see, we know that we have two methods, that is direct and another one is indirect. And indirect case, you are establishing contact with the user, and users are involved into your study. And in indirect methods, the statistics whatever is there in the library, you are dependent on that, you are analyzing the records, and then you are assessing them, and then you see that there is no involvement of the users. Records and the statistics of circulation, records, reservation, ये सब जो है यही सब आपको मदद करते हैं इसको indirect information को assess करने में. So many libraries depend on analysis of their records and statistics, like circulation records, reservation records, reference queries. These all are the statistical records. What do? We all take the information from them and we calculate it, we draw the inference from them, and we see that indirect methods are also sometimes helping us to draw what we wanted actually, what we wanted to gather, what kind of information we wanted to gather from there. Similarly, like we say that circulation records are analyzed, उसमें we can find out that कि कितनी बुक्स इशू हो रही है, कौन सी बुक्स बहुत ज़्यादा हो रही, कौन से सब्जेक्ट की बुक्स ज़्यादा इशू हो रही हैं, और किस बुक पे ज़्यादा ध्यान दे रहे हैं लोग, किस तरह के ऑथर पे ज़्यादा ध्यान दे रहे हैं लोग। तो इस तरह से हमें ये भी पता चल जाता कभी कभी कि रीडिंग हैबिट्स कैसी हैं लोगों की, जो वो पढ़ते हैं कहाँ पर ज़्यादा वो करते हैं। तो व्हेन वी आर एलोकेटिंग आवर बजट, तो वेयर वी शुड एलोकेट मोर, विच डिपार्टमेंट वी शुड एलोकेट मोर, विच बुक्स वी शुड बाय मोर। तो दीज आर ऑल indirect ways of assessing the things, and but they will, and finally they will help you. You will see that these kind of information what you gather from here, they will help you in running the library in a different way. That's how the indirect way of analyzing records is also helping us. Like these kind of questions are for the indirect. Then we will be talking about the user studies, where we are using which methods. Those are the direct methods. These direct methods are where I said just like इसमें हम लोग users को 1-to-1 देखते हैं, हम लोग उनसे बातचीत भी करते हैं, हमारे पास बहुत सारे ways हैं जिससे हम यूजर स्टडीज करते हैं और डायरेक्ट मेथड से करते हैं। तो ये सब आपको याद रखना है। इसमें समझने वाली चीज़ें ये हैं कि आप किस तरह से रिसर्च करना चाहते हैं। आगे जाके जब आप अपनी ग्रेजुएशन पूरी करेंगे, आपको जब कोई प्रोजेक्ट मिलेगा तो आप किस तरह से अपने प्रोजेक्ट को कंप्लीट कर पाएंगे, कौन से मेथड्स यूज़ करेंगे। तो इसमें ये समझने की ज़रूरत है। अच्छे से समझाया गया है, बहुत ही छोटे शॉर्ट इंफॉर्मेशन दी गई है, बहुत ज़्यादा लंबा नहीं है। यू विल अंडरस्टैंड एंड इट विल बी क्वाइट हेल्पफुल फॉर यू ऑल। तो डायरेक्ट मेथड्स में व्हाट ऑल वी विल डू, वी विल बी यूजिंग द डायरेक्टली under our study, who will be the participation from the users. Whatever users you have there, you will be in direct touch with them. The techniques of social surveys such as questionnaire, interview, diary, observation, these are all direct methods. What we will do today, we will talk one by one about these methods: questionnaire method and interview method, diary method and observations. How do we conduct the research on these methods? Like first is the questionnaire method. How do we make a questionnaire and what is the benefit of making it, and how we get the information from our questionnaire. That is what we are going to discuss now. Questionnaire is a structured schedule of questions intended to be answered in writing. Questionnaires are a useful way to seek the opinion of the users over widely scattered areas. The most common form of questionnaire is the postal questionnaire, although questionnaires may also be given by hand or sent through via email. You know what, questionnaires में what you all do, what first we decide the topic, कि हमें किस topic पे information को gather करना है. Then what we do, we make the questions, then we see all the areas, what all we want to understand, what all information we want to gather from our users. We do that, we make a questionnaire, we will send them through email, or earlier when emails were not there, we used to send by post also. Then, or nowadays what we do, we make it on the Google Sheet, then we just share the sheet, share the link, they will fill, and it helps us to even evaluate also. These are the new ways of doing the questionnaires. So types of questions, what types of questions you should have in the questionnaire is the questions on the facts or opinions, are closed questions, ranking questions and open-ended questions. These type of questions are there. कि अलग अलग तरह के हम लोग टोटल 5 बनाते हैं, उनमें स्टेप्स दे देते हैं कि ये फैक्ट्स में हैं या ये क्लोज्ड हैं, जिनका आंसर येस नो ही हो सकता है, रैंकिंग है 1 2 3 4 में आप कहाँ रैंक करते हैं इनको, या ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चंस दे देते हैं हम. ये भी उसमें आप, इट डिपेंड्स ऑन यू दैट हाउ you want to answer the question. So what we will be doing, we will be talking about the how we should be making the questions in the questionnaire method. So we'll take a short break here and we'll be back and discussing the questionnaire method.
ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम में हमें NIOS के थ्रू ये सिखाया जाता है, बताया जाता है कि आपको कौन सी प्रॉब्लम में पेशेंट को कैसे स्टेबलाइज करना है।
हेल्थ वर्कर का कोर्स करने के बाद में व्यक्ति इतना निपुण अवश्य हो जाता है कि किसी मरते हुए व्यक्ति की, चाहे वो जलने से हो, चाहे वो डूबने से हो, चाहे वो करंट लगने से हो, चाहे वो सड़क का एक्सीडेंट हो, चाहे वो हार्ट अटैक हो, चाहे दौरा पड़ने से हो, उसकी जान बचा सके। और जान बचाने के बाद में उसको प्राथमिक उपचार देने के उपरांत इमरजेंसी तक पहुंचा सके, जहाँ पे कि डॉक्टर की देखरेख में उसका आगे का इलाज संभव हो सके।
सामुदायिक स्वास्थ्य प्रशिक्षण कार्यक्रम NIOS का बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण प्रशिक्षण कार्यक्रम है। इस कार्यक्रम में आधारभूत जीव विज्ञान, मातृत्व एवं बाल स्वास्थ्य देखभाल, रोगों व आपातकालीन स्थितियों में निवारण एवं प्रबंधन, ये 3 महत्वपूर्ण विषय हैं जिनके आधार पर एक स्वास्थ्य कार्यकर्ता बहुत ही अच्छी तरीके से किसी भी इमरजेंसी को हैंडल करने में सक्षम होता है और किसी भी इमरजेंसी में वो फर्स्ट एड दे करके उसको डॉक्टर के पास रेफर कर सकता है। आइए हम सब मिलकर के इस स्वास्थ्य कार्यक्रम को सफल बनाएं। जय हिंद, जय भारत। जय हो।
I welcome you back, my learners. So we were talking about the questionnaire method. What kind of questions we should give in the questionnaire method. Questionnaire is a structured schedule of questions intended to be answered in writing, and questions are a useful way of seeking the opinion of users over a widely scattered area. This is how you make questions. आपको अगर उसकी आंसर चाहिए, इन्हीं सवालों के जवाब चाहिए, तो चाहे कितनी भी इंफॉर्मेशन वैरायटी में स्कैटर्ड हो, अलग अलग हो, बट whosoever will answer you, he will answer you the right, whatever is the right for that question, he will answer the right kind of information he will give you. The most common form of questionnaire is the postal questionnaire. Like what we used to do earlier, we used to send to the people. लोगों के एड्रेस निकालते थे, क्वेश्चनर उनके वहाँ भेजा जाता था, वो भर के उसे दे देते, या बाय हैंड भी हमें पता है कि हम किसको देना चाहते हैं क्वेश्चन, तो हम उसको क्वेश्चनर दे देते थे, तो वो फिल करते थे. अभी तो we will be sharing Google form or we will be sending it on an mail also, so you can fill the questionnaire. That is how we fill the questionnaire. Now we'll be talking about the questionnaire is a schedule of questions is intended to be answered in writing. That's what we are, how we will be designing the questionnaire. What kind of questions we should be having in the questionnaire, क्वेश्चंस की वर्डिंग कैसा होना चाहिए, लोडेड एंड लीडिंग एंड लोडेड क्वेश्चंस होने चाहिए या नहीं होने चाहिए, लेंथ ऑफ द क्वेश्चनर कैसा होना चाहिए आपको, व्हेन यू आर सेंडिंग इट टू समवन, तो ऑर्डर ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस कैसा होना चाहिए, तो क्वेश्चनर का फॉर्मेट कैसा होना चाहिए, देन व्हेन यू आर सेंडिंग इट टू समवन, are you going to accompany it with a letter or not, that is also important. That makes feel other person important, that this is the way they want me to answer these questions, I am important for them. You have to make them feel that you have been selected for this questionnaire what we have prepared. So we'll be talking one by one about these things. The first thing is questionnaire involves skillful translation of objective of the study. Whatever you want to know, आप जिस चीज़ की स्टडी करना चाहते हैं वो आपके माइंड में बहुत ही क्लैरिटी में होना चाहिए, so that जो भी आप क्वेश्चंस बनाते हैं, जब भी आप क्वेश्चन बनाएंगे, वो आप डिज़ाइन बहुत ही केयरफुली करें. जो आपको आंसर मिल रहा है उसको इवैल्यूएट करने के बाद आपकी जो रिसर्च है, आपका जो क्वेश्चन था रिसर्च का, वो फुलफिल हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है। सो डिजाइनिंग जो आपका टाइटल है दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, देयर यू नीड टू बी स्किलफुल। सो क्वेश्चंस जो भी है पुअर क्वालिटी के नहीं होने चाहिए, दैट विल गिव यू द पुअर रिजल्ट्स बेसिकली। अगर आप यहाँ वहाँ के क्वेश्चंस पूछेंगे तो उसमें से कोई ज़्यादा रिजल्ट बहुत अच्छा नहीं आएगा। क्वेश्चन ज़्यादातर ब्रीफ हो, अट्रैक्टिव हो, एम्बिग्यूअस ना हो, जिनमें दो दो चार चार तरह की आंसर्स हो सकती हैं, इंटरेस्टिंग होना चाहिए, इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड होना चाहिए। सबसे ज़्यादा जो पॉइंट्स हमारे माइंड में होने चाहिए जो जब हम क्वेश्चनियर बनाते हैं, व्हाट ऑल वी शुड कीप इन माइंड इज दैट वी शुड बी क्लियरली फ्रेमिंग, अवॉइडिंग ambiguous terms, and ambiguous terms may, that's what I was saying, that it will arise answer in two ways, ऐसा भी हो सकता है वैसा भी हो सकता है। so it they should be clear, we have to avoid loose terms like usually, sometimes, rarely, frequently, ये सारी terms को हमें avoid करना है while making a questionnaire। Leaded and loaded questions का मतलब ये है we have to avoid, for instance we are preparing a question on phrase such as many people do such and such, and you may encourage the respondent to give an answer that shows, confirms, and it may not be like true। when we say many people तो उनके mind में ये आ जाता हाँ हो सकता है बहुत सारे लोग ऐसा करते हैं तो I should say yes or no, तो kind of we have to avoid such kind of questions। तो we will talk here जब leaded and loaded questions we say that, for instance we are preparing a question on the such as many people of such and such are encouraging the, like they have to answer many times for the same question, that gives you answer becomes ambiguous, you cannot take out the answer what you actually wanted from the questionnaire। that's how you should be clear while framing the question। so what we can say, for example, most people find reference staff in libraries helpful, do you? अब हमने यही बोला मोस्ट तो कर ही रहे हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल, तो उसके दिमाग में आएगा जब मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल आर डूइंग तो तुम यस और नो में क्या कहोगे, तो दिस बिकम्स एम्बिगुअस। सो दैट वे वी शुड नॉट फ्रेम लाइक दैट क्वेश्चंस। तो उसमें क्या कर सकते हैं, डू यू फाइंड द रेफरेंस स्टाफ इन द लाइब्रेरी हेल्पफुल और नॉट, तो इसमें आप उन पे डाल रहे हैं अब आपकी क्या राय है, आपको रेफरेंस स्टाफ किसी भी लाइब्रेरी का ठीक लगता है या नहीं लगता, आर दे हेल्पफुल और नॉट। अगर हम मोस्ट कहते हैं तो उसमें ये लगता है कि yes maybe mostly people are helpful there। so we have to be clear while framing a question। length of the questionnaire should be, it should not be too much so that they become very bored while going through the questions। it should be very compact, like you are not making them bored while reading the questions। the order of the questions should also be like that respondent should be willing to fill rest of the questions, that like first जो क्वेश्चन होना चाहिए आपका इंटरेस्टिंग होना चाहिए, यू हैव टू क्रिएट इंटरेस्ट सो दैट person is going to read the next question, third question, fourth question। so you have to make it like that people are interested in giving answers to your questions। and sometimes try mostly give the closed type of questions where you think that respondent is answering yes no with clarity, so you will be also able to evaluate your study that way much better। you have to ask the questions in logical order, in the same logic, the where you have to group same type of questions together। you will be deciding 25 questions, like you can make it into 5 groups। so first group will be like what kind of information, same kind of information can be put into one group, that is how you do you make the questionnaire formats should be clear, the respondent should be able to have enough space to answer the response to your query whatever you want। you have to number all the questions and you will see the continuity is being followed, like पहले कुछ पूछ लिया और बीच में कुछ पूछ लिया बाद में कुछ पूछ लिया, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, continuity बनना चाहिए, connection बनना चाहिए questions के बीच में। that's how we do it। be consistent, make clear, leave adequate space, this is all what is needed in the questionnaire format। that's how you all are supposed to keep in mind when you are making that questionnaire, and then when you are sending it physically or by email also, are you supposed to send a letter with that? If that letter is there, then in that letter you should have to write your name, your phone number. You have to ask them in case they want to clear anything, they want to ask anything before filling the questionnaire, so that they should be able to contact you. And what is the purpose of our study, you have to tell them. And you have to tell mostly that how important as a researcher you are for them, so that they feel like I have been selected for this research purpose and I need to do the work seriously. That also matters a lot. Advantages of the questionnaire are what? Like you will see questionnaires, it can reach to large populations. Like if you are sending it through email or if you are sharing the Google Sheet, then you will see it can reach to large population. It can determine the advanced what question. You can see what kind of questions you want to make. You can determine it beforehand, before making the before starting the making the questionnaire. Sources for data collection are limited, so whatever you have to evaluate, you will be evaluating according to your. Sometimes what happens when you were physically sending these questionnaires, you will not get 50% even back. When you have sent to 100 people, maybe you will get somewhere 30, 40, 50, you will get some kind of. Or even in online also, they don't respond you, they don't fill also questionnaires sometimes. So sometimes questions are there which are misinterpreted, which are not understood very well. So in that case also, your the query you have sent becomes little ambiguous. Some respondents may be unable to complete the questions by reading and writing literacy because of the language problems or many other problems. So these are the little things which we can see before making a questionnaire. Questionnaire is one of the best methods. You can say as best your questions are, as best your research can be. Then after that, we will be talking about the interview method. Interview method is another way of becoming direct with your user studies, how you do it. So in interview method, what we do, you are interacting verbally with your users, then one to one you get response, one to one. Face to face, you can see how they are answering you, or you can call them. You can conduct interviews with an individual, or it can be a group or also sometimes. What are the types of interviews? Unstructured, semi-structured and structured. These are all types of questions. When you are creating, then you go for taking an interview for the people. Sometimes most of the media people are taking interviews from the people. What they do, they prepare the questions before. They see whether it is a structured kind of interview, or you have to find out the questions when you go there. एक बात में से बात निकलती, तब भी हम एक क्वेश्चन बना लेते हैं वहाँ पर भी. It depends on the situation also, that किस तरह से आप शुरू करते हैं अपने इंटरव्यू को, किस तरह के लोगों से आपको बात करनी है और इसका आउटपुट क्या है. ज़्यादातर जो है आपका शेड्यूल फॉर्म बना लेते हैं आप, क्वेश्चंस आपके प्रिपेयर्ड होते हैं, तो उसी हिसाब से आपको आंसर्स भी मिलते हैं. Semi structured में you are not preparing the questions before. Sometimes you do go for the factual kind of things such as age, number, books borrowed, employment status. ये सब open ended questions होते हैं जहाँ पर हम they can answer anything about their opinion. Also they can talk. There can be many type of questions where you will ask about their opinion. They can explain it, describe it, or sometimes you can design the interview schedule which involves the use of principles and similar to those used in the questionnaire method. Like when you are preparing questionnaire questions for the questionnaire, same way you can do it for the interview method also. Unstructured interview is when suddenly you are going and having a conversation with someone. Neither the question nor the respondent, both are not determined in advance. Simply you go, you start talking, and you start talking about the situation which is instant situation, that is unstructured. There we have a great degree of flexibility, you can say, because it is not structured. That's also how you do the interview method. advantages of interview method are that misinterpretation of questions can be avoided, because when you are talking one to one, you can repeat the question also. Till you don't understand, you can make the clarity also when you are talking to the other person. Response in 100 is 100%, because you know as many people you want to interview, that many people will sit in front of you, or you will be going to people, talk to them, and that means 100% interview the response you will be getting. You will reach a sizable sample, because the way you want to get it done, it will be. The method is little costlier than the questionnaire, because here you need to travel, you need to talk to people, you need to sit with them. It becomes little costlier than the other method. That's how we do the interview method. And after that, there is another method, that is diary method. Diary method is also one of the direct methods. How you use this diary method for the research purpose. What do you do in this? Here, individuals under the study are asked to maintain the record of their particular information activity. What do? They will write down. Sometimes it happens like that, maybe they will miss, or sometimes they become little lethargic, they will not do, they will not, kind of information you wanted about their activities, they are not able to record it also. So, but sometimes the diary method becomes better, because the records you are getting in their diaries, though that will be kind of a data diary forms, so you can use that as records also. That data can be used. That is how you use the diary method. It has both advantages and disadvantages. Then we come to the observation method. How do we do this kind of research when we are observing people? Mostly आपने देखा होगा, कभी कभी आप लोग देखते हो रोड पे, जब कहीं लोग बैठे हुए होते हैं, हमें पता नहीं चलता है वो क्या कर रहे होते हैं, वो ऑब्जर्व कर रहे होते हैं लोगों को। या आपके सामने भी कभी कोई लोग आएंगे, आपको पता नहीं चलेगा, उनकी रिसर्च चल रही होगी, वो ऑब्जर्व कर रहे होते हैं अपनी चीज़ों को, उस डाटा को। तो ऑब्जर्वेशन वो वैसा मेथड है, कलेक्टिंग डाटा इन अ पर्पसफुल एंड सिस्टमैटिक मैनर, बिकॉज इन दैट केस व्हाट यू डू, यू हैव ट्रेन दैट पर्सन हु इज ऑब्जर्विंग द अदर पर्सन, हिज एक्टिविटीज, स्पेसिफिक थिंग्स इन time, what all they are doing, that they are observing, but they are ready for that. So maybe you are under observation, you will not know, but the techniques they have been taught will help them to observe the things. Distinguishing feature of observation is that information required by the investigator is observed directly. Like I am observing 10 students in my class, what kind of activity they are doing, how they are behaving with others. They are not coming to know, they are doing it normally, but I will get what kind of information I wanted from them. I am able to observe it, and I can do it even twice, thrice, as many times I want, till I am not getting the perfect answer. That can also be done. So observation method is also a useful method. So your usefulness of this observation are, you can see the use of the catalog, you can see the use of the reading room, how many books have been, because people are already coming and users are coming using things, which kind of books they are taking, what kind of literature they are using, available resources are okay for them, what kind of users are approaching library. This is a kind of research which can be observed by you, and later on you can work on that to make your library a better place for the users. Advantages, I said, that are many, because here the independently you are able to do it. It is your willingness, how you will report, how you will write, and as much time you would like to take, you will take it until you get the proper results. Disadvantages of this method are that there is a possibility of influencing the individual. There can be the behavioral changes also, because if the person is understanding that I am under observation, so he will prove himself to be the best, he will behave best. That is also one of the disadvantages of the observation method. Now we will be talking about the user education. what kind of user education we give to our users so that they are able to extract the maximum information, or they can retrieve the maximum information from the libraries or from the resource centers, whatever we have in the libraries or whatever e-libraries we are providing them. The user education is important part of every library, either small or bigger libraries. We do have little bit of user education for our users so that they are able to use the libraries. This is also an important factor. In educational activities which is concerned with creating awareness among the students, and we tell them the value about the information, motivating them to use the library resources to supplement the classroom teaching. That's how you are giving them you are training these people so that the user education becomes a part of their daily routine. The users training programs are designed based on the course curriculum also, and to target users. Whatsoever kind of users you have, sometimes they are preparing for the exams, you can work that way also, you will prepare yourself that way also. So like that we educate them how to retrieve the best kind of information. User education, how do we divide the user education? Is through user orientation programs, user training programs, information literacy and bibliographical instructions. That's how we are training and giving user education to our users. What do we do in the user trainings? User trainings are user studies conducted like in 1950s, so old it was that thought over that information requirements, and it revealed that existing library resources, whether the services are good or not, whether they are utilized fully or not, the user training was must. It was that this idea was conceived from there, that user training is important for our professionals so that they are able to optimize the use of the resources. That's how we all followed this, and every library tried to follow these. Academic libraries widely accepted this idea that we should go for the user training. It was basically difficult to know whether the users are able to use the resources whatsoever we are having. Then we come to the user orientation. Which kind of user orientation programs you give? User libraries, particularly you see the academic libraries, they organize user orientation. When you will have in colleges, universities, when you have new admissions every year, what do? They do it class wise. Initially they will organize these user orientation programs for the new students in the beginning of the academic session. The basic aim for user orientation program is to introduce the library and its service to the new users, because the new users don't know where what is kept and how they are using the library, what kind of resources you people are having. We all have to make them acquainted with the things what all we have, and that's why the user orientation programs are very important. What do? That way we will help them to understand where the catalog is provided, what is the location of the books, what tools we are using in the library, what are the borrowing facilities. These all things we are doing in the orientation program so that it becomes easier for them. Then mostly what we can do, make a lecture, circulate that lecture, or call everybody, make a video of tour of your library. That way they can go through that video. It can be placed on your library wheresoever your e-library is there, or you have on your website. You can do that, the touring of your library. They can go and check there and see what kind of libraries we have. Then bibliographical instructions are like with the databases we have, what kind of information we are giving them. For all the bibliographical instructions we provide all the data, what is there, what all databases we have in the libraries. Then we will be talking about the next thing we will be talking about the information literacy. Information literacy is also important for the users. You know why? Because all the information whatever we are getting and how we are getting, whether it is effective, whether it is okay for us, so we need to know, we need to understand that whatsoever information is there, is it okay? So that means information literacy is important for them. Here what you do, you are the librarian or the library in charge, whosoever is there will give you the idea, usually the information, what kind of information is needed, how it is organized, how you are evaluating your resources, what kind of resources you should use, from where you should use the maximum information. And sometimes you are also deceived of, like we say nowadays, you have the fake videos also, fake information also. How you can evaluate critically and see what best information and what best resources are available there, and in good formats, and particularly in this digital age. So you need to understand the basically the information literacy is also part of the information training, so that your users are able to get the best information. That is all about our today's program. We talked about all the methods, how we retrieve the information and how we can research the things, and what all information literacy is important for all of us. And I hope you must have all understood what we taught today about for our users. Users are very important for the libraries. Thank you. See you next time.